Hey, what is up guys, Syed here, and today I am with Mr. MM. Alright, and we are in the 2020 Alfa Romeo Giulia Quadrifoglio. Very quickly, the only difference between the 2020 Alfa QV and the 2021 Alfa QV is the 2021 Alfa QV has a carbon fiber roof, correct? Everything else about the car is exactly the same, okay? So essentially you're looking at a 2021 Alfa QV without the carbon fiber roof. Some specs for this car has a 2.9 litre twin turbo V6 engine producing about 503 horsepower, 600 Newton meters of torque. It does 0 to 100 in 3.9 seconds. It comes with an 8-speed ZF transmission and rear wheel drive. So if you compare this with for example an F80 M3, this car has a lot more power, a lot more torque, and it's lighter as well. So my very first question, why did you choose this Alfa? Is this your first Alfa, by the way?
This is my first Alfa.
Okay.
This is just my second car in Singapore.
Okay. Well, your first was a...
The first car that I had in Singapore was a Range Rover Velar, which is also a beautiful, beautiful car.
Okay.
So when I think about buying cars, there are 3 or 4 factors that you're thinking about, right? Obviously, you want your car to get you from point A to point B without much of fuss. But then there's practicality. And when I bought the Range Rover, we had just had a baby. So in my mind, straight away I went, I need an SUV. I need a big car. I need to carry a lot of stuff around, carry the babies around. So practicality becomes a major factor. Then there's the brand. A lot of people associate themselves with a certain brand or want to buy a certain brand no matter what the car is. And then there's driving, just sheer driving pleasure. So, so you see where I'm going with this. So I started with the Range Rover Velar, which is a good car. It looks great. It's not a brand that's very popular in Singapore necessarily, but when you talk about SUVs, Range Rover makes some good SUVs. Really posh, really nice. But I found the driving experience was not up there. The highest trim that I had was the HSE, and all they gave me was a 250 horsepower 4-cylinder car, and that car weighs around 2,000 kgs. So
there wasn't much oomph.
There wasn't any oomph.
Is that an X class?
Yeah, I think so.
That's random. Okay, sorry.
There wasn't much oomph at all in that car, and so I wanted to maximize my driving, because I started to think about this. Yes, I want practicality, but the reality is I'm driving this car 99% of the time by myself from wherever I am. And so I said, okay, let me be selfish and put the driving first. I still need to be practical, so I started to look for a 4-door performance car, as opposed to a 2-door.
What were the cars that you shortlisted?
So I started with the RS, the RS4 and the RS6, because I like an estate. It's like a mini SUV in some ways, but super high performance. And then I also wanted to look at the M3. At that point in time, the new M3 had not launched.
The F80 M3 you're looking at.
I was looking at the F80 M3. I was also hoping to see some of the AMG models. But then I found that it was incredibly difficult to get the time and attention from some of these brands.
They didn't give a shit in a way, right?
Yeah, I mean they weren't very keen for me to test drive or just view the car. It wasn't a very good experience in general. And then one of my friends said, why don't you check out Alfa Romeo? And I hadn't ever considered this brand before. I mean, I knew of it as a racing brand. And they said that some of the cars in Singapore, actually they're giving their highest performance cars now in Singapore. And so I started to look online and did a lot of research, and I realized that the Quadrifoglio had been around since 2016, and in Europe it was consistently ranked as a #1 performance saloon, beating the old M3 quite easily. And I was like, okay, why didn't I think of this before? So then I went down to the Alfa showroom here, and to be honest, the experience was night and day. It was totally different. They didn't have the Quadrifoglio in-house at that point in time, but they had the Veloce, which by itself is a brilliant car. I mean, I could have just bought the Veloce and been happy. But I really wanted to see what the Quadrifoglio is all about. And so the first time they got the car, they let me drive it. It happened to be this car, by the way.
This was the car you tested?
Yeah, so I test drove this car. I said, I'm getting this car. Take it off the lot. This is my car. So this is the car I test drove, and then...
And this was in January this year.
January of this year.
Okay.
It was a brand new. It was the first model year 2020 car in Singapore.
Yes. Correct.
Yeah.
They told
So
me.
yeah. So I immediately
the
said
owner of the first 2020
Correct.
QV in Singapore.
Correct.
Alright.
So with the updated interior and so I mean my mind was made up.
Okay.
It's still practical. I put car seats at the back. No problems at all.
Baby seats, you
baby
baby
seats,
seats, yeah.
and there are no issues at all with the amount of
The
practicality.
only problem with putting a baby seat is that you cover the beautiful Alcantara. That's
Well.
the only problem. It revs very quickly as well.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it just revs. Like,
Yeah,
so-
the needle just moves before you realize it.
Yeah, it's very fast. Even in the Veloce as well.
Oh yeah, that's
Yeah.
a beautiful car.
Yeah.
So one other recommendation to someone who doesn't want to spend on a Quadrifoglio or is worried about a rear wheel high performance, go for the Veloce.
Yeah,
And at 280 horsepower,
Yeah, it's enough.
it's more than enough for Singapore.
Yeah. But yours has like almost twice the power, right? This is 500.
This is about 510, yeah.
Yeah. Holy shit. How do you have only 4,000 plus kilometers in 6 months? I would be like 10,000 kilometers.
Unfortunately, my work keeps me extremely busy, so
Okay.
so I'm a very get up in the morning, go to office, and come home in the night kind of guy.
Okay. Are you working from home or?
No,
you still
no, I still go into the office as much as I can, when I can.
So you can drive the car.
So I can drive the car as well. You said that, I didn't say that. Don't admit. But yeah, look, those 20 minutes are the most enjoyable 20 minutes. So 40 minutes a day, the most enjoyable 40 minutes of
Why
my
not move further?
Yeah, that's a good idea. Move further away so I can drive for longer.
By the way, this car, the QV, has one more driving mode as compared to the Super and the Veloce. This has race mode. Okay, the Veloce and Super doesn't have that. So can you tell us a bit more about like race mode?
Yeah, look, the race mode is, as the name suggests, it's meant to be used on racing tracks.
Okay.
It's not really meant to be used on the normal roads.
Okay.
So what it does is it switches off all the electronic assistance features. So you're left to your own devices.
Okay.
But it does quicken the engine.
Okay.
I've noticed.
Okay.
Probably the gear ratios change in the race mode so that you're moving a lot faster. I've used the race mode a few times. I found it to be very responsive.
Okay.
But I think again, if the weather is not on your side, I would not recommend driving in the race mode. I think the dynamic mode with the manual gear shifts is more than enough. It's sufficient for Singapore.
Okay.
So if you wanted to do a donut, or if you wanted to slide this car around, you would do it in race mode.
Okay.
In dynamic mode with all the electronics on, this car is incredibly difficult on stick. It stays stuck to the ground, even though because the balance on this car is phenomenal. It's a 50-50, even though it's a rear wheel drive. It's a 50-50 balance. You're not going to find it easy to move this car around.
And so far you own this car for about 6 months.
6 months.
Coming to 6 months. Still pretty short, but how has your experience been so far? Do you get a lot of compliments and all that?
Yeah, it's a unique car in Singapore. Not a lot of people have this car. Not a lot of people have seen the car.
Yeah.
So I get a lot of stares.
From guys, I think.
From me, all guys.
All guys.
Yeah. No. I want to be careful. So I get a lot of stares from guys. The cool thing about other Alfa owners is they see it and immediately they want to sort of reach out to you.
Yep.
So you'll have people flashing lights, honking horns. That is a very cool experience. You're not going to get that in any other brand.
Yep, that's true.
So that is very good. So, and ownership wise, no issues at all. The electronics in general have been up to mark. No issues at all there. No mechanical issues either. I know it's a short period of time, but then people talk about Alfa and reliability a lot. But then hey, I bought a Range Rover, right? So
how was your Range Rover like?
Brilliant.
No issues.
No issues at all.
How long did you own it?
18 months.
18 months.
Yeah, 1.5 years.
Specific. 18 months. Okay.
Yeah, that's when my urge to drive a faster car
so
started
you
to build
changed
up.
it because you wanted a different experience.
I wanted a faster car. Yeah, I wanted faster, more powerful. There's more under your right foot when you need it. It's there. With the Range Rover, it just wasn't there, unfortunately.
Okay. So next thing, what do you like about your Alfa Romeo Giulia QV?
The first thing is how it sounds.
Oh yeah, this is the Akrapovic
That's the Akrapovic exhaust,
which is from the dealer themselves,
yes,
right?
Yes,
Yeah.
the dealer themselves. So
that's why
it's
sounds,
LTA approved.
Yeah,
as
LTA
well.
approved. Yeah, so it sounds
So it sounds
pretty growly. And,
yeah, it's a very low down.
Yeah.
It's not a shrill Lamborghini sound.
very similar to a HKS kind of exhaust, like a very low and deep.
Yeah, I
yeah.
really enjoy that, especially the downshifts. You should drive in manual, by the way. The semi-automatic.
Okay.
The downshifts in this car are phenomenal. You can make out the difference the minute you put it into semi-automatic, into your manual mode. Use the levers. It sounds great. That's number one.
Okay.
And then just the sheer power that you have. So this car, I think, low down still does not have the ultimate power. It's not a naturally aspirated engine. At the end of the day, it is a twin turbo, and while it is Ferrari derived, low down, I still think it struggles a little bit for power. And I think the new M3 is better.
You mean there's not enough power low down? Or?
Low down. I think up to 2,500 RPM, not there. Once you cross that number,
it just takes off.
It flies. This car will just fly.
You won't even do it like stage 1 tune or something to.
I see. Okay.
Yeah. I don't know. It could help.
I don't want to tinker with it as yet.
Okay.
We'll see in some time.
It's still very early.
It's still very early.
Still very early.
But from there onwards, once you're at about 2,500 RPM, I think that's when it's maximum torque.
Okay.
It just starts flying. And then my thing to do is to be in a lowish gear, to be in like third gear, between 4 to 5,000 RPM.
Okay.
You get the most amount of sound, the most responsive engine.
Like this?
Yeah. Yeah, so it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. It looks good. It sounds good.
It drives brilliant.
Yeah, and it's so connected to the road, even in this weather.
Yeah.
This is a rear wheel drive car only, and you're still so connected to the road.
What do you dislike about your car?
Nothing.
Perhaps the price.
No, I think the price is fair, right? I mean, we were talking about this.
Versus an M3.
Yeah, the new M3. Any of the competitors are charging a lot more for a very similar car.
Yep.
So they
about $100,000 more.
$100,000 more for the new M3, M4 competition pack. When they cost exactly the same in the US. Or in fact, this costs slightly more in the US. So you're paying for a brand.
Yep.
You're paying for the privilege of driving that brand, which is great. Look, all cars are good cars.
Yep.
Those are really good cars as well.
Yep.
But I felt that at this price point, if I can get this car with the kind of service I'm getting from EA, then why not? So I don't dislike anything about the car. I do miss one thing very specifically about my Range Rover.
Okay.
It had ventilated seats.
Oh, okay.
I do miss that sometimes. These are heated seats in case you want to feel. Yeah, they have heated seats and heated steering.
They didn't take it out of the specs.
No, they didn't. Okay. And nobody in Singapore would want to heat their seats or their steering.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's a very European configuration.
So let's say somebody is looking to get an Alfa. Do you have any advice for them?
So yeah, I guess you should think about those 4 things I was saying. Practicality. Are you just driving pleasure? Are you just looking to get from point A to point B? All of that. If you believe you're looking at a driver's vehicle, you're going to drive it. You want to control it, and you want a powerful car. This is the car for you.
Yep.
Of course, I would explore the RS, the M versions, and the AMGs as well. But I think this is the sort of most bang for your buck.
True.
But if the electric cars are coming, right? In another decade, none of us will be driving anything so exciting. So maybe the car will become like an iPhone. It won't matter anymore what it does or doesn't do. It'll just go straight in a straight line, and that's all you'll get. So enjoy this. Enjoy this while it lasts. Yes. And now you're feeling the pull.
But it's raining, so in my mind it's a rear-wheel drive car.
Yes.
And it's raining, so I better not.
Yeah, it is extremely safe though. In the 6 months, I haven't had a single slide.
Oh, is it? But you've never turned off traction control fully?
I have driven in race mode.
Okay.
I drive in this mode, like I said, all the time. I'm in dynamic and manual. I haven't had a slide. I have never felt out of control with this car. And then, as I said, with the sort of advanced economy or advanced efficiency mode, as they call it, which is like an all-weather mode. Your mom, your grandmom, anyone can drive this car. It's a very nice floaty sedan when you want it to be, and then it can do this when you want it to. So it's got everything. No, like I said, the experience with EA in Singapore was phenomenal, and big shout out to the guys at EA for just giving me that experience with this car. They've been so nice to me, even in a short 6-month period. The car itself is phenomenal. Like I mentioned, this is probably our last chance to drive a powerful, internal combustion engine. We're soon going to be driving electrics, so enjoy it while it lasts, I guess. That's all.
All right. So yeah, I'm just gonna enjoy this car for a bit. Just driving it around, even though it's not ideal because it's raining, so you can't drive it too fast, which is unfortunate because I really like driving the Super and the Veloce, but that was dry weather, and I just went for it. But this is wet, and yeah, it's unfortunate. But anyway, what I can tell so far, the steering is very, very sharp. Gear shifts are very, very quick. I feel like the rev in the Veloce goes up faster than this. I'm not sure why. Yeah, like the needle moves quicker. It's pretty comfortable, I would say, even for sports mode. You do feel the bumps, but it's overall still it's, I don't know, the balance between like comfort and stiffness is almost perfect. Yeah.